pleasant evening to you all. Good evening, welcome to Saveto and Pastor Anu Facebook Live. Such a pleasant surprise, right?
What a wonderful surprise. You know, we come live every Thursday, and because today is such a monumental day.
That's right.
And it's a monumental day, not because of the day itself, but because of the wonderful personality that we have in this day, and life that is live with us on our show today. Yeah. We are talking of no other person, but the most charismatic man we've ever met, the most intelligent of his generation. He's trying to, why we use his generation is because he's trying to raise some of us to be smarter. And that is his pride. That's right. So we have with us an intellectual, a philosopher,
a thinker,
an author of so many books. This is a man who is going to write over 5,000 books. Can you imagine?
Yeah. And he's also a transformation strategist.
Yeah. Transformation strategist.
That's right.
Why some people will want to argue that transformational strategist is what he would want to be, but what he has done is called national transformation. He's done it as a template, and is spreading that same template to other countries around the world. And just recently, he announced that he will be in the country called Nigeria.
Nigeria, our country.
He will start to make his impact felt and then spread to the rest of Africa. And I'm sure you cannot wait. You know who we are talking about, but we will give him time to talk to you. So make welcome on our show today, Pastor Dr. Sunday Adelaja.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It's such a honor to have you around, sir. Okay. Thank you so much. When we came to your place, before coming, because we have the show every Thursday, and so we were like, we're going to be here on Thursday, and we'll definitely give it a shot to have you on our Facebook live show. And thank you so much, sir, for being true at heart. Thank you for standing for a cause and not flinching back based on people's perception of you and what they have to say. Thank you so much, sir, for being the frontliner and for setting a model, one whose rhetorics aligns with his practice. And we thank you so much, sir. And it's such a honor, guys. Well, I think as you join us, because we have just an hour, so we want to maximize it. You see, you rarely have opportunities like this. These are privileged opportunities. And what we're going to be doing today is that we're going to be throwing questions. Well, a wise man once said that when you have opportunities to sit down with erudites and with wise people, you don't talk too much. Any opportunity you have is to give them questions. And so, guys, instead of saying welcome to Pastor Anu, all of that, we're not going to do that today, because we want to go straight to tap into the plethora of wisdom that we know that Dr. Sunday possesses.
Yes. So we'll be taking your questions, some of those which you may have currently, or as the show goes on. Don't be scared to drop it in the chat box. Pastor Sunday is always open to answer questions, albeit questions with purpose.
Yeah. Not just any kind of question.
Just questions with purpose. Something that will hit a particular chord and will be achieving a particular purpose. So be very free to ask your questions. We'll be taking them.
Yeah. And before we continue, I think it's good if we tell all of our viewers watching right now to quickly share this link, share this video. As a matter of fact, you can invite everybody possible. I always say you can invite your friends, invite your families. You can also invite your enemies, because what they're going to learn will be something that your issues with them won't be a determining factor. They are going to be so transformed and they're going to be blessed. So why not, within the next 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, hit the share button and let's get started so we can actually get everything possible within this 1 hour time. So we trust you're doing it right now. We trust you're doing it because we want to go straight. So do you want to give a shot?
Yes, let's go straight. Pastor Sunday, you were born on the 28th of May, 1967.
Yeah.
And that means on the 20th of May this year, you'll be 50.
Golden Jubilee.
So you may want to shout out and
Yeah.
tell Pastor Sunday a
Happy
in
birthday.
advance.
Happy birthday.
Well, so for a man born in Idomela, southwestern Nigeria, you won scholarship and you came to the then Soviet Union. And there were a lot about your stories, from the book Olorunwa, and we've learned so much even from being beside you and also from hearing testimonies. Of late, there has been a cascade of testimonies coming in every evening about the man who Pastor Sunday is. Now, you've said a lot about your youth. We know where to find the stories. We are going to put the links there. So we do not want you to repeat the rhetorics that we know that are out there. But there's just one question I want to ask. As youths, we are going through a particular phase in our life which I know you would agree is probably the most important in a man's life. So what was it for you that was the most important lesson of your youth?
Youth, you are talking of between what age to what age?
Between your transition from Idomila to you becoming a full man.
Okay, but youth, is it ranged or gauged in age bracket? Because, for example, in this country where we're living now, most people will say you are a youth only between the age of maybe young adult, let's say 17, 18 to 35. But in some other countries, like maybe in America, I think it's between that same age to 25. Or in some other culture, it's to 30. So,
okay, so I think the main one between that is 30 now. 25, 35, 30.
Yeah.
So probably we should go for between 17 and 30.
so my most important lesson.
Yes.
Okay, my most important lesson at the age of, when I was a young man, between the age of 17 and 30, is the fact that I discovered one of the greatest revelations of my life, which is the fact that it is not destiny that determines the fate of an individual. I discovered that fatality and fatalism, or predestination, has been misunderstood. And from the culture that I'm coming from, I was growing up thinking that the people who are well off and who are wealthy, that God has blessed them to be wealthy. And that people like someone like me, that we were unfortunate, we were not so blessed by God. That was the idea I had. So that kind of made me to think that there were some people destined for greatness, and then there were some people that were not, that have to struggle, that are not so destined for greatness. So, but at 19, I discovered that it's the opposite, that geniuses are not born. That geniuses are created by their hard works. So geniuses are not born, but geniuses are created through hard work. That anybody who work hard and be diligent enough to put in all the efforts can become anybody he wants to be or anything he wants to be. That, even though I was in one of the smallest villages in Nigeria with only 40 houses, that was enough for me to say, and the Bible helped me to get this. And it's in Deuteronomy 28, verse 13, that, starting from verse 1, it says, if you diligently obey, observe all these words that the Lord your God is putting before you today, and that you will be the head. So anybody can be the head. Anybody can be first. So it doesn't really matter if you are not a Jew. I can still be. So, then I say, then I'm not saying in this village. I am going to. So if I didn't know, it depends on just my efforts. If it only depends on my effort, then let's put in the efforts. That is the most singular, the most important singular lesson that transformed my own life. Because on the basis of that, I said I would never be second anymore to anybody. And right now, I say it even in a better way. That anything that I do, I want to do it so well that there will be nobody that in my generation that will be as good as me in it. and I will do anything that I want to do so well that even out of the people who have lived before me, no one would have done it so well. And I will do anything so well that even for 500 years or years after I've done, that you will still not be able to find someone who will do it so well. So that particular, understanding that I can become anything I want to become, and that it's not in the hand of God or Satan.
Wow.
That He has already blessed me with everything that I need to become all I could become, and any individual too, anybody could become what they could become. Satan will not disturb you, and God will not stand on your way. He has already blessed you. It's not that He has given you this destiny and that destiny. You cannot do anything. Do anything when you can. No. But if you do it, when you put in the effort, God has already paved the way for you. That is the most important revelation for life.
Wow, amazing. Well, listening to you, so this is not as mind blowing as it would have been if I'm totally ignorant and if I'm just listening to you for the first time. However, what I want to say in regards to that is what we are used to hearing, sentences like our destiny is in God's hands, and somehow makes us to we're talking about some songs that we sing when we're in our very young age, songs like the Orilo Mola and your destiny is what determines your tomorrow, Boya Maado Lola Orilo Mo, and things like that. And so it made us think that it made us
translate it to people.
Okay, so let me sing the song so that our viewers will know. So the song is in Yoruba. It says Orilo Molola, Orilo Mola, Boya Maado Lola, Orilo Mo. So that song says Orilo Mola. That means it's my destiny that determines, or that would determine who I will be tomorrow. So whether I will be wealthy or not tomorrow, it is my destiny that will determine that. So that is the kind of song we sing. Not like this.
Like my faith. Right?
Yeah, my faith. So we resort to faith, and so listening to this, it means you can be anything you want to be. So it's not about destiny. It's not about what your head is carrying, and being raised in a very religious background. There is this idea that of people taking your destinies and exchanging destinies, and so your Irawo, so your star, and the person pass. I don't know. I think maybe you can address it something like that.
I'm not familiar with the Irawo.
Like someone sees your destiny while you're young.
Sees it?
Yeah, they see. Yeah, see your destiny, and I've heard of those
mean they see your destiny.
More like
they see your future.
And then they can
interfere with it. What do you have to say about it?
Like, that I think this is the principal thing why a lot of us get spiritual in Africa.
About life.
So from young, or from a very young age, you believe that somebody can interfere with your destiny, with your future, with what you can become.
Are you serious?
So we were trained to be secretive on that basis.
Yeah, you have a goal.
So you must not share your goal until you achieve it. Not because you are planning, but because the moment somebody knows about it, you are scared that they are going to interfere.
I don't believe that. People still believe that today?
Yeah.
And there are many who believe that?
Yes, sir. That people can interfere. Somebody can. As a matter of fact, many people are humble, not because they are humble, but because they don't know who to talk to now and offend.
What do you mean offend?
Okay. For example, if by matter of principle, if you are to reprimand somebody, and because you are thinking this person now, you don't know if you offend him, and you'll go and stand in between you and your destiny.
Okay.
So that singular act, that singular thinking, that someone can stand in between you spiritually, and where you are meant to get to in life.
So like,
what do you have to say
interfere with
to that?
Maybe you
if someone can spiritually alter.
Yeah. I think that's the word.
No, what you were saying, it's making me very sad. It's making me very, very sad. And the way people are talking about it, as if not just you people talk about it, as if people, it's in general. You are talking to me right now as if I should have known about it, that everybody should know about it.
Yeah, that's one of the
that's one of the things.
prayer points.
So which means
it's a prayer point.
The prayer point.
So this is everywhere.
Touch my destiny and
It's
die.
making
It's a
me
prayer point.
very, very sad and grieved. Sad, aggrieved and offended. What you are talking about is insulting Calvary. It's insulting the sacrifice of our Lord Jesus Christ. What you are talking about is making non-entity of redemption. You people are actually stepping on, you are insulting God and slapping him. But by even saying this and conceiving it and even contemplating it. Now, if it has gone to the extent that even in church they will pray about this, then I'm done. I'm totally done. I feel right now like we should just close down those churches. I feel we should just let everybody go and do their thing. They are not doing church. That is not church. Because you cannot make God, who gives destiny to somebody, to make him to be so weak. Don't do that to my God. I don't know the kind of God that you both believe in that country. I don't know the kind of God that you know. But the God that created that destiny, don't make him so weak. Don't reduce him so much as to thinking that he doesn't have the power to guide what he has created. Or to protect the destiny that he has set. He is God, by the way.
Yeah. So.
And the person that I know that is weak, that could be manipulated or subjected to obedience, is Satan, not God. Yes, this kind of thing, this kind of stories could be common or prevalent with people who don't know the Lordship of Christ or the sacrifice of Christ or the redemption power of Christ. So people who don't know God, who are just left on their own. Yes, maybe anything will happen to them like that. It might be a possibility. But for you to be telling me that in churches people know these things, I even repeat it, or even believe, or even pray about it, it's an insult. It's an insult to God and to Calvary. It's, in fact, any Christian should never waste his time on such a privy or such a frivolous of thing like that. We should, even if they tell you that Satan, every Christian should be telling Satan, get out of my presence. I don't want to hear it. Rubbish. It is rubbish talk. And if you want me to expatiate on that, I'm going to expatiate on it, and I'm going to, but I want to hear the argument. Maybe what are they basing that on? What is it? Why should they even contemplate? Why is it that people who are Christians, who have common sense, who read the Bible, could not stop that kind of belief system?
And I think many times, because we are all subject to who we follow and what we listen to, we are molded by what we are exposed to. So if the pastor comes up every time and say, Ogun Idile, that means familiar spiritual battles, and say there's somebody in your father's house, in your mother's house, who did so some 15 years ago. So because of that, there's a spiritual arrest on your glory. So we need you to pray now that God should release it. So they pray that prayer, first night vigil. Next month, they're having night of glory.
So
the
people
prayer
begin
point
to
is still
believe
there. Yeah, so as a matter of fact, at any small disappointment, people tend to believe. As a matter of fact, people tie disappointment, which could be just a natural phenomenon in life. Sometimes doors are locked so you can open the right one, but they begin to attach such to spiritual battle, to somebody undoing them from their father, son, or mother's
So
house.
if you say that people talk about it, even pastors talk about it, then it means they are creating the atmosphere of vulnerability for the people.
Yes.
By talking about it, that there is a possibility like that, you are making people vulnerable. That's number one. Number two, you are putting fear in them. You are making them to be anxious that something like that will happen. And that means they are expecting it. And whatever you expect is what you get. And whatever you believe in is what comes to pass in your life. So because the law of attraction, number one, and number two, fear opens the door for Satan to attack. So I think while we were talking, I'm thinking people will probably come up now with an argument to say, but pastor, but it happens.
Yeah.
It happens now. I know somebody like that they did deliverance for him, this thing he didn't get set free. I know other person who was doing well and this thing happened. I know if you say it happens, then I know why it happens. It's because of these things you are talking about right now. When fear mongering will open door for those things to happen. If you believe that it's a possibility in the first place, then of course it will happen. If you are praying about it, it means you believe it. So it is what you believe that happens. Faith coming by hearing. And it's not just the word of God. It could be if you are hearing the opposite, the word of the enemy or the word of unbelief, that's what will come to you. You begin to believe in it, and when you believe in it, it begins to happen. But it's not supposed to happen because you are not believing. It's not because Satan is powerful that it's happening. It's because you believe in it, that's why it's happening. And the reason why it will not happen is not because it is not possible or these things don't happen. They should be happening, but not with us. With anybody else out there, but not with Christians. But if they are happening, it means we, like unbelievers, have started believing. But the thing that you are supposed to be believing is to be believing in your God. What you are supposed to be believing is to be believing in the power of your God. So if you are believing more in the power of Satan or the enemies to be able to truncate your destiny, like we are hearing. So if you are believing in that power, there is a possibility that your destiny could be truncated. Then welcome to it. But I am believing in the God that gave me that destiny that is powerful enough that nobody, no force will ever be able to truncate or divert my destiny or the destiny. So that's what I am believing and that's what I have. But with the teaching that you are saying the people practice in the church, it means that people are making unbelievers, or pastors are making believers to believe more in what Satan can do, in the power and possibility of the enemy, rather than in the power and the potency of God Almighty himself.
So you can, I believe you heard that, and you now can see that you need to focus on the power and potency of God who has given you purpose, who has given you a dream, and who has given you destiny, or whatever you may call it, to be able to protect same, and that the devil or no man has any ability whatsoever to truncate such. If God has given you a dream, he that is able to give you a dream is also able to protect such.
Why is it that those kind of destiny, stealing destiny, or truncating your future, or that, why is it that it's only happening to African people? Why is it that it's only happening in Nigeria? Nobody even talks about it. Even they don't even need to be Christian in the West. I'm even saying that we Christians, it will happen to unbelievers, but in the West, it doesn't even happen to unbelievers. Even unbelievers, it doesn't happen to them because they don't believe in Satan, they don't believe in God. They don't even believe in your Satan. Do and truncate anything you want to truncate. They don't even believe. They just walk through it. So and that's why you know what happens in the, these are all rubbish. I don't believe in African witchcraft. I don't believe in any wizard. I don't believe in any witchcraft. I don't believe in any. I believe they exist. I believe that they are powerful, but not to me. I don't even want to use the word powerful to them. They are deceptive. They are evil. And they do, I don't even believe any witches and wizards that can do anything, even though I know they exist. For example, let me give proof to you. When white men came to Africa, this is not to Nigeria alone, no. They came to all of Africa, from South Africa to West to East, and they don't even believe in all these witchcraft or juju or something. So when they would come, they were coming to take our land. Okay, for example, when they went to Benin, Benin used to be center of witchcraft and everything. The white men just entered to their king, they took him, but like they don't throw him out of the place. And they said, they don't enter, nobody go enter, you die, They just, they entered to the shrine. They have a whole shrine. The palace was full of shrine. They were just taking they were pouring oil. So they took the guys that were pouring oil and shot them, and just shot them anywhere they were there, and took the gods. If up till now, the artifacts of Benin, they are still in London. Those were the gods, so the god of this, the god of this, the Orisha, this, the Orisha, this, all those Orisha, they were just took them as souvenir and that.
Orisha because souvenir.
They just all the oil they were pouring, all the oil they are pouring on the head, they just put the thing to wipe the thing off, and they all the jujus and all the witchcraft and all they thought it was just ashes.
Wow.
They just cleaned it, you know, and the whole thing happened, so nobody became paralyzed, nobody fall down, nobody died. The king became one. They dethroned him and deported him out of the place, out of his own palace. You know, the same thing in Oyo, the same thing in Ife, the same, the witchcraft. But if it's a black man that goes there from that same culture, they die.
They die.
They die for real. They become paralyzed because they believe in those rubbish.
So
it is what you believe that follows you.
It's what you believe.
But the white man, for example, another situation. White men, you know, I'm an Ijebu man. Ijebu too, they are known as powerful Juju people. So when Nigeria, that Ijebu land was the last one to be taken in Nigeria. So they had fortified their own place. So then the British government, the colonial government, gave the Ijebu, Awujale, our king, gave him and the Ijebu land, Ijebu people, condition that they have to give up because they need the territory to do their trade and all that. So they have to give up their resistance. Then we said no, they gave them 40 days. So we had 40 days to fortify ourselves. So we went and collided with the Abeokuta people. So Ijebu and Abeokuta people collided. They've got all the witchcraft, all the juju men, from Benin, from Ijebu, from Togo, from everywhere. From the Benin Republic. Oh yeah, they fortified the place. They buried 40 virgins, as I heard, 40 virgins and 40 virgin girls and boys. So they did sacrifice, human sacrifice. You know that any white man that will cross that line of the
would die.
You cross 40 virgins and 7 young men strong. All the kind of, and then do what you. All the incantation you are calling. When the white man just came with himself, all the Nigerian people were saying, I will not go. We can see witchcraft there. Witchcraft. You go say, Hausa people, just come and call off the place. And then the Scandinavian, the people from Caribbean. The Caribbean black people also, and the Hausa Bible, because the Yorubas were saying they will not go because they are afraid of it, because they fear. Because they were dying.
Yoruba people, we always fear.
Because they were afraid of the witchcraft of the Ijebu because they knew, they were sensing it. But when the white man just crossed it and said, you people just come, the Caribbeans and the people who don't even understand anything, they just came and just, when they fire, then our people just came up from the bush. And they said, in the name of, whatever, I shall go, in the name of saying, we call in, the fire should not, they said, we are fortified. The guy, they just brought machine gun, he scatter everything. And they had 200,000 army. The Jebus had 200,000 army. By the time all the Babalawos and everything was scattered in one shot, not be say no, in one shot, all of them, everybody just scattered in 200,000. They were the Babalawo and the Awujale, everybody was scattered. Frustrated, please have mercy on us. What can we do? Take the land, everything won.
The white man does not understand Yoruba.
No. Bazooka, it was bazooka they call it. Wow. Bazooka firing arms. Wow. They just disappeared. They just dismantled. It has witchcraft and they are rubbish. If African witchcraft have been so powerful, why were they all colonized?
Yeah, true.
That people don't believe in them. Because they don't believe in them.
True.
And now church.
Has helped
church is believing them. Everyone believers don't believe in them with Europeans. They just scatter them and conquer your own land. Took your wives, your children, you cannot do anything. Sold them, Papa. Went to your shrine, the biggest shrines in all of Africa, Calabao, Enugu, everywhere they went to all the shrines and took all of them as souvenirs.
Artifacts.
So now churches are now enthroning those same witchcraft that have been defeated a long time. That should have been the proof for us to have thrown all of them away.
That's true.
I'm not even saying Christians now, okay, Some rubbish like this. Nobody should be talking about Satan and witchcraft at all. Nobody should be talking mentioning Satan any day in his life. You don't even have any need to mention Satan for your whole life. The only time I remember Satan is when I want to cast out demons. And don't even pray about Satan. I don't even talk about Satan. I don't even bind Satan. I don't have any business with him. He's defeated. That's all. That's what I walk in. He's under my feet.
Yeah.
Well, so Julian Goya, we welcome.
So I'm not talking the small. Somebody saw. You saw your head, saw your destiny. That's all. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the father who taught them, who bought them.
That's right.
Rubbish.
Wow. It was.
Yeah. So Julie was asking, can anyone please share what the topic is? There's no particular topic. We are asking Pastor some tailored questions, and
I think she wanted to know what we're.
Yes. So the question is answered so far is who is in charge of your destiny? Can anyone or anything or any force, be it spiritual or physical, alter with what God has purposed?
No, we are talking about physical. I mean, spiritual, right?
Yeah, spiritual.
If you go and jump from physical, lost.
Okay. Yeah. So can any spiritual force truncate your destiny? And the answer is we should not focus on all those things. They exist, but they are not your reality. Yes, they are not reality to you who does not believe in it.
But if you believe, you will be in church, or you'll be sleeping in church, you'll be doing 7 days, 14 days. Because the more you are doing 14 days, that's a proof that you believe not in God but in Satan. The more 14 days, 7 days, that you are even affirming your own belief more. Unbelief more in God Almighty, and you are affirming more of your belief in the forces you are saying you are fighting against. You are fighting 14 days, 14 days. It means you are believing in Satan, then you will become a victim for the rest of your life. You'll be going from that one mountain to the other, it will not end. But when you really believe in God, you don't even spend 3 minutes to pray. I never spend more than 3 minutes for to cast out demons. They are too weak. It's a waste of time if you do spend more than 5 minutes to cast out demons.
So what has happened is that we have developed that belief system, and it has created fear in our system, such a way that now we've been conditioned to believe that they exist and they are powerful. And so and one of the scriptures that this has been grounded on is the scripture that says our weapon, the weapon of our warfare is not carnal, and we don't fight war against flesh and blood, or against principalities and powers in high places. And these scriptures have become and scriptures that are like that have become the pillars.
That is the same scripture that makes me to know that I don't need it.
Yeah, but
those same scriptures.
Yes.
We don't
war against
flesh and blood. We don't war against flesh and blood. So it means I don't even have anything to do with them. So no witch can ever stand on my way. That's what it means now. The garden of flesh and blood. No wizard can ever stand on my way. That's what it means. I don't even have to waste my time with them. I have already overcome the one who is their Lord and Savior. They are Satan, Lucifer, and something to overcome. So I don't war against them at all. I'm already enjoying. My Lord and Savior has already warred against Lucifer and against the principalities and power, and was overtaken them. My warring is in faith. That's why I say fight the good fight of faith. Faith in the fact that Jesus has already done it. Faith in the fact that Satan has already defeated. Faith in the fact that he has put him under my feet. Faith. That's why we don't fight against flesh and blood. Our something is in faith.
That's right.
Faith that principalities and powers have been defeated. It's not that I should now be fighting it, that I will win, as if it's in the future. Faith in what has been done in the past. Fight the good fight of faith.
Well, our dear viewers, we are pretty sure that you guys have learned something just with this. You see, Pastor Sunday came alive. And what makes Pastor Sunday comes alive that I've noticed is when something, is when something that we are discussing really is against God's original plan. And most especially when what is against an anti-God's plan is being triggered and is being perpetrated in the church. Why? Because it's okay if the world believes that these guys are powerful and then they truncate people's destinies. But when it is happening in the church, and then the church is the chief propagators of this error, then
can you imagine there are some people who are pastors who are coming to speak to me on my program and say, Pastor, don't be talking about Nigeria transformation project like that. Just keep it quiet. Just keep it secret. Or maybe God protect us. It's only God that can protect. Yeah, so please, don't be talking about it. Please, may God look after you. May God protect you. We play the blood of Jesus. Rubbish. I'm just looking at them. I said, okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Rubbish.
So, Pastor, I want to give a follow-up question because we have other questions, but this is actually one. I just want to, because there are some viewers right now that are watching that they are Christians right now, they are believers, and some of them might have had personal experiences, either due to the fact that they were victims of the wrong message or whatever, and they can tell you that, sir, I have experienced this witchcraft. I've experienced these people really do things to the lives of maybe the members of my family. And so I want you to address those people right now. And what shift do they need right now? And what can you tell them? What is that thing that, now this is the truth. This is what you need. This is what you should think. This is what would help you to actually overcome those experiences.
Definitely, those kind of things happen, and they will keep on happening. Yeah, as long as you keep on believing that it's a possibility, they will keep on happening. Not just to your children, to your family member, it will get to you too, sooner or later. Once you keep on believing that it's a possibility, I want to tell you that it's not that I'm not from Nigeria, and it's not that I've never experienced the powers of evil. I don't think there's any family that has experienced the power of evil like my family has experienced it. So I know firsthand what you're talking about. 3 prominent family members of ours in 6 months were wiped out. One of them was a professor. I mean, it was, if you've heard of, Adelaja, one of the foreign ministers of Nigeria during Babangida's one, Adelaja something, Akinyemi. Yeah, anyway, it's Adelaja. Adelaja was the foreign minister of Nigeria for like 10 years. He was my colleague. He was the colleague. He's still alive right now. He was a colleague of my brother. My senior brother, they were studying together. I mean, that one studied in England. My brother studied in Sabon, and they married Englishman. That one, both of them married English women. That one married an English woman, and my brother married Susan. And so they were colleagues in the university, and they were in the foreign minister before. They were in the foreign ministry before. We were working as head of department, and my brother was also a lecturer in the University of Ife. In the 70s. And then he was in the first set of the graduates of University of Nigeria, and he finished first class. Got scholarship to do masters and PhD in France and England. Anyway, so he came back to Nigeria, started lecturing. He was always on television. He was the editor of the Nigerian Today. They used to publish that for to give to our embassies. So he was very prominent, and he was a lecturer. Then there was the second one who was a woman, and it was even more well-to-do than this man, than the man. She was a business lady, business tycoon, having one of the largest clothing and cloth materials in Ibadan. They were very big. And then there was the third one, who was also working in the Ministry of Economics and Statistics in the 70s, also graduate of the University of Ibadan, the Adelajas. So these people were all, the 3 of them were dead in 6 months. In exactly 6. One died first, then the second one on the way back from the burial of that one died. Then when it's 6 months after the death of the second one, the third one died. So those are the light in one family. So I know what witchcraft is. Our family was even haunted. Because people were thinking that it was my grandmother probably who was responsible for that. So we know what witchcraft is. But for me to now be talking like this, after we have suffered such from the hand of witchcraft, it means I have contacted superior knowledge. That's right. I have contacted superior knowledge. I have fortified myself with understanding. So that's why I'm saying that as long as you believe in the possibility, you make yourself vulnerable. Secondly, as long as you begin to fear and you continue to fear, that the forces have any power whatsoever, then you are still susceptible to their attacks. But when you had the thing I just gave you a practical example now of white men who came to Nigeria and went to the to the shrine and everywhere to remove the crown from the head of the king and slap him up and down, and nothing happened because they don't and their country didn't fail. We are the one running to their country to go and eat now. So what I'm saying is that it's because of the belief system. Alter your belief system. Begin to believe in God Almighty, in the supremacy of God, in all the promises of God, rather than in all the stories of how powerful Satan is. Stop feeding yourself with how powerful Satan is, what he has done, who experienced, what was done. Why don't you feed yourself with what God has experienced, with what Jesus Christ has experienced, with what Christ has done? Why don't you feed yourself with, the promises of Christ? That greater is he who is in you than he that is in the world. That this is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith. Why don't you feed yourself with that? That he has elevated us and sat us at the right hand of God. And we have elevated us above all powers, principalities, and all principalities and powers. And he has made us the head of it all. And he has put everything under our feet. Right. And he has made an open show of Satan. Yes. Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you deliberate more about that? Why don't you talk about the victory of God, of Jesus for you? And you are talking about, what Satan is doing. Forget about what Satan is doing. He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything to people who believe in God. You are hidden in Christ. He said, you are hidden in me. Then they have to penetrate Satan to get, Jesus to get to you. But you are not hiding yourself. You are thinking you are vulnerable. Because you are not hiding in Christ. Because you don't believe what he said. If he said you are hidden in him, why don't you see yourself in him hidden? But because you don't see yourself hidden, then you are open up.
Well, dear viewers, if you've not shared this video, you guys would bear me witness that the whole world needs to hear this. I'm talking about the whole world of people who refer to themselves as Christians. Why? Because what we're talking about here, I believe very few percentage of Christians have heard this in this manner. So what are you waiting for? If you've not shared this video, please go ahead right now and share the video. And if you've not invited your friends, what are you waiting for? Go ahead. Invite those friends of yours. Share the video and let the revolution begin. Let the transformation begin. Let the liberation begin. And let God's children begin to walk as giants, walk as kings. And let us really begin to rule as God has mandated us to do here on earth.
All right. So as you've heard, don't waste a minute. Do well to share the video right now. Do that right now. On the basis of this, the second question is alike. He has said nobody can destroy your destiny, nobody can alter your destiny. Understand who you are in Christ and operate from that superior knowledge. So we want to go into something which is it's a topic that is universal. It doesn't speak Yoruba alone. It speaks English, it speaks French, it speaks German, it speaks...
So before you go into that topic,
yes, sir?
I want to ask you a question. Dangote, who is the richest man in Nigeria, his plans, you don't even need to tell anybody his plans. Everybody is angry at him in Nigeria that he's a monopolist, that he has taken everything. People know. So you don't need to hide. You are talking about you hiding your plans. This one that is doing all those things, where did he hide it? You think nobody had what he is planning to do? You think nobody knows that he has monopolized the market of cement, rice, potatoes, all kind of things you want, even oil now. You think everybody is happy, that nobody is frustrated? No, if you go by the theory, you are saying that you don't know you will offend, though. You think he has not offended, he has over-offended. In fact, he's taking land everywhere, and they are saying he's not paying them, he's not employing them. Everybody has complained about it. So why did they change the destiny? Or it doesn't work again.
He has a Baba Saleh.
So he had Jesus.
Maybe he has Baba Saleh.
So Baba Saleh is strong and stronger than Jesus. He can protect better. And then let's go to the Baba Saleh. Then what are you doing in church?
Wow.
people don't reason. You young men, don't join their club.
No!
Don't join their club.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Don't begin to believe those rubbish, because don't even be repeating the rubbish that people that who are less informed, of lower intellectual capacity, are talking with their own mouth, because they don't use their mind. They don't use their head. They don't use their brain. Just use a little bit of critical thinking. You discover that all those their rubbish will just scatter. Talk less of in church. It's a disgrace. It's an insult. It's an offense against my Lord and against my faith. It's an offense against my faith. I am offended.
Sila, we'll give you 1 minute to ruminate over that, so you can begin to make a decision. You can begin to make a decision now. To say, no, I'm not going to believe in all these things. I'm going to unlearn the gibberish and the rubbish that have been taught in time past. And to say, I'm going to believe in God and in myself. So, the next question we were going to ask, we said this question speaks every language that is possible on earth. As a matter of fact, even those who don't speak, those who cannot speak, they still speak this language. And people understand them clearly. This is not a language you need to learn. It's a, like we learn ABC. It has, in fact, no alphabet, unless one has to create that. It is a question of money. Money speaks every language. It speaks every language. Now, we have learned from you, sir, that in 9 months, you became a dollar millionaire.
Yes, right.
In 9 months. With a strategy in place. And don't forget, we introduced him as who?
As several national.
The one that built the strategy.
Yeah, it's a transformation strategist.
Good.
Yes.
So, applying the principle of transformation strategy, or transformational strategy, he became a dollar millionaire in 9 months. And another statistics shows that in 2 years, in less than 2 years, you produced $200 millionaires.
Yes.
Means you did not just become a millionaire, but you produced exactly after you. And that's what legends do.
That's right.
And before I used to say only 2 mothers gave birth to legends, but I think yours is the third one. Because if I used to say it was just Mary and my mother. But when I met you, I now discovered, oh, there's somebody else. So, and you have gone far ahead, and you are a legend. I mean, that we want to be like, and we are modeling after. So the question we'd like to ask is, during this process, because it's a process, what were the limitations you discovered and that you overcame, so that we can learn from those and apply the same principle
in becoming a millionaire?
Yes, in becoming a millionaire, and probably also, if people now want to say, it may be different, but you raised 200, so you would have noticed different traits in those 200 people, which would still be applicable to everyone, at least
You are interested in the limitation.
And how you
overcame it.
Okay. The very first limitation in becoming a millionaire was because of ignorance. Either ignorance or misinformation. I was misinformed. I was ignorant of how to become a millionaire. When you don't know something, you are limited. So I didn't. That's the first one. And the way to overcome that limitation is to get a hold of people who have done it before, people who know how to do it, and learn the principles. I never knew before why I could not become a millionaire was because I was thinking that even though I had already believed that God is not standing on the way of anybody, but I was deceived through Christianity. My Christian belief became my hindrance of not becoming a millionaire. Okay. Because I was a pastor in Christianity, I read the book of a lot of Christian pastors and leaders. And what they would normally tell you is that if you are called you must face your calling, just for your own calling, just one calling, and just face that calling. And what I've been taught is that, in fact, even pastors that are respected, men of God that are respected, they will always say, as soon as you begin to be distracted and go to another topic, apart from your own main calling, that they begin to give you examples of people who are falling, and people who are falling, that this one fell because either they are interested in money and something. So, as a Christian, Christianity hindered me from becoming successful financially.
Wow.
Not Christianity, I would say, but the doctrines.
The doctrines that you got.
Yes, and the doctrines and the way Christians talk about it, leaders talk about it. Secondly, Christianity hindered me the second way. First of all, I thought I was called to be a pastor. So any interest or any attempt to try to make money, I thought I was earning, and that this was going to make me to earn. That's what I was taught. But I was never taught that I could still become a pastor, be successful as a pastor, and be successful as a millionaire, and even become a billionaire, or even become a politician, or even become a media guru, or even become anybody that I want to become. I was never told that. People limited God to one dimension. They introduced one dimension of God to me, instead of introducing to me a comprehensive God, a total God, a complete God, not an incomplete God, not a limited God, not a God that is hindered, or not a God that is not capable to do all, not a God that is not multifaceted, but God is multifaceted. I've come to know that. God is comprehensive, God is unlimited, and God is versatile. But they didn't introduce me, they didn't preach to me this kind of God. They preached to me that only one you can have. And once I'm now a pastor, I thought that was the end of my journey. That's the only thing I could become. That deceived me, and that held me away from becoming a millionaire at the time. The second thing that held me was how Christianity stood on my way to become successful, was that, not Christianity, sorry, but Christian teachings and preachings.
Yeah, the doctrine.
Yeah, the doctrines. Is that these people were teaching me that, and if you're a pastor and you're a minister,
yes, sir.
Anything you don't touch money, because there are 4 or 3 things they say that make people fall: pride, women, sex, money, and something else. There are 3 things. Are the 3 things? Are the pride? Money, and
pride,
sex.
Right.
So since money is in that place, they don't tell you the details of it. They only tell you the fear part of it. No, fear. How many people are falling because of money? But they don't tell you how to navigate that, and how to subdue money itself so that you don't worship it. How to make money your own servant. They don't tell you. They make you to believe that you are the only one who can be servant of money. Nobody cannot become your servant. So because of that, I was staying away from it. That's another way. Yes, those are the hindrances, the biggest hindrances. Then the third hindrance was that, even though they never said this directly, but the kind of Christianity that I was exposed to that time used to make me to believe that if you are good enough, if you serve God enough, if you are pure enough, if you are holy enough, that God will just bring those things to you by itself. That was another hindrance. But since I have come to discover that money doesn't come to good people, since I have come to discover that money doesn't come to Christians because they are Christians, since I have come to discover that money doesn't come to educated people just because they are educated, since I have come to discover that money doesn't come to even business people because they are business people, I have come to discover that money doesn't come to anybody, and people don't become millionaires, and they don't have money just because they are good, they are well-behaved, they are Christians, or they are obedient to God, or they are God-fearing, or they read the Bible, or they pray. Money doesn't come to people because of those things. Money only comes to people for one reason. Money only comes to people who know. Those people who know the laws of money, and who know how to use those principles hindrance. Those are the general hindrances as a Christian. Now, after I had now gained the knowledge and I had delivered myself from the Christian limitations, and I had now even started acquiring the knowledge, the other hindrance, major hindrance after I started the process, that was inhibiting me from becoming a millionaire faster, was the fact that I didn't know what to do, what to invest the money in. So that is another major thing. But now I help people who are serious and who want to, move ahead, and I help people to multiply and double their, and make millionaires now. But my only condition is that they must first of all have changed their value system, their mindset. They must have immersed themselves in my teachings first. If they didn't follow my teachings, if they have not changed their value system, their paradigm, if they have not changed their value system and their inner content, if they are just ordinary Christians, I don't believe them. I only believe people who have immersed themselves in the truth of this world. Then I could say, yeah, now I can help you. Let me tell me how much you have. This is how much we could do with it in a month, and in 3 years we can make you a millionaire as a result of whatever, or 1 year or 2 years, depending on what you're, for you are following the laws. Yeah.
So I think the first thing is, today's pastor will not be able to talk so much about this. Not number one because of time. Number two because he has materials, not one, materials on this. So you can go on Amazon and just type Sunday Adelaja. Anything you see that looks like finance, just pick it up. How to build a secured financial future. Money won't make you rich. You can get all of those. The lost years. How to regain your lost years. I mean,
Working for Uncle Sam.
there are quite a lot. Stop working for Uncle Sam.
Become
Quite a
wealthy
lot.
without tears.
Yes.
How to become wealthy without tears.
How to become wealthy without tears.
Yeah.
So do well to get all of these materials.
And also on YouTube, he has financial series that close to maybe 40 hours of teaching. Sunday at 70 hours of financial teaching. And you can get it on his YouTube page. That's Sunday Adelaja Official. Sunday Adelaja Official on YouTube. You can go and check those videos. You can just check money series or financial series, and you see it, and it's going to help every one of us.
There are men who, when you just talk the least about them, it will sound as though you are flattering. But in the real sense, you've not even started talking about them at all. It will sound like flattering. I mean, this is a man who you cannot rightfully want to regain your mind. You decide that I want to regain my mind. And you go to listen to him
1 week.
Not 1 year.
No, 1 year.
1 year. 1 year.
1 week.
Okay.
So what?
Any message?
Let's use first day to be losing my religiosity.
Yes.
Let second day be
Try to understand who this person is.
try to understand. Let the third one starting to fix the foundations.
Yeah.
You'll find out that in just 1 week, if you are not changed and you truly went to it, I will pay you for your time.
That's right. It's impossible. Sit down. Listen.
I'll pay you for your time. Now, do you still have one more question?
Yeah, I think we should end
because
because of our time frame.
We are
So,
well behind.
we have one.
We can see about half an hour more.
Oh, wow. Guys, half an hour more. Amazing.
You guys are so blessed.
The time is going too fast.
Yeah,
Yes, way too fast. Amazing. Wow, thank you.
Some people want to protest here, but
I'm getting ready.
we have. Okay, we are going to maximize it.
Yes,
Let's
let's maximize it. So, sir, we want to ask this question about because we are students in Ukraine and we've been plagued with a mindset also that we can't get money here. I have experienced it, and I've seen a lot of people drop out of school because of financial constraints. and somehow we've been taught, or somehow, I don't know where we got it from, that in Ukraine there is no work and you can only rely on your parents to get money across to you. Now, I'm asking this question and I wish students in Ukraine will watch this video. So how can students in Ukraine,
what can we do to make financial and
right now? I am paying people from Ukraine, students from Ukraine, $40,000 as salary every month. $40,000 every month to people in Ukraine who are students. I alone, $40,000 every single month is coming out of my pocket to people in Ukraine. I give them work to do. Some of them I give work to do to help me edit my book.
Yes.
There are some of them, one of them is sitting right here now, who is doing so well that they could even do twice a month. But if you do one book a month, you are getting $2,000. If you do twice a month, how much would that be?
$4,000.
So that's one kind of work. But there are many of those kind of work. There are about 20 of those who I'm working with. Then there are others who are helping me with translating my Russian. I have Russian books into, they have understand Russian language a little, but they understand English too. So they read it and just write it in English. They are also making at least $1,000 per book like that. No, maybe for 500. It depends on the size of the book. 500, 600, 700. But that's it. So we have a group of those. Then we have other people who are designing promotional. They are doing promotions on Facebook, all kind of social network, something, working, doing films, video films, and documentaries and things like that. That's another group of people. Then there is another group of people who are doing with my citations and my aphorisms and my quotations and things like that. That's another group of people. But those are smaller money. But at least, so in all, every month, I am paying $40,000 to students. And I'm sure if I am doing that, then there might be other people, other opportunities that are even there too. But there are even other opportunities like I spoke about, even applying the financial laws. Those also, there are other things that could be done about that.
So it means opportunities abound. Opportunities abound. If you want to know more on how you can make good use of this, I think you can DM us. Although we'll be collecting agency fees. We'll collect agency fee. Yeah, so I think we should take one more question.
The next question.
And the next question is...
I think I could ask it, right?
Yeah, you can ask it.
Yes, sir. So, Pastor, you are super passionate. And we had a discussion and you said that Nigeria would soon become the most treasured and envied nation of the world. And that communicates the kind of passion, and not just passion that is without direction or without purpose. Is what you know. Sometimes you tell people, because I listen to you and tell them, just pray that you are alive. For those people that doubt you, you tell them, just pray that you are alive, so that you would see the transformation that would occur and that will happen in Nigeria. And we believe strongly. However, right now, there are people in Nigeria that I want you to address right now. So the first is that I want you to address the youth. What message do you have in your heart right now for the youths in Nigeria in preparation for this transformation?
Number one, I want to let them know that by the grace of God, in my first year of coming to Nigeria, I will be employing more people than the federal government of Nigeria is employing. I will be paying salary to more people than the old civil service. Everybody is talking about civil service. Governors are not paying salary. Federal government not paying salary. Government, all those things people are complaining about. They, all of them put together, they are just 1 million. All civil servants in Nigeria are just 1 million. I'm going to be employing more than that. But I don't believe in employment. that is just for that's just the list, that's just the something. But I believe more in helping people create goods and services for themselves. And one of the books that I'm going to release on my 50th birthday is going to be called Why Losing Your Job is the Best Thing That Could Happen to You. So I'm going to talk about why people should not look for jobs and why they could become all they want to become all by themselves. But I have so many comprehensive plans on restoring Nigeria that to keep on talking about it is like to just downplay myself. I've just written another book that is going to be called Nigerian Economy: The Way Forward. How to take Nigeria from economic recession to global economic dominance. So that book is my plan for economic prosperity for Nigeria in the next 50 to 100 years. And so what should I tell the youth? Number one, I don't believe in looking for jobs. And I pray that all Nigerian youth will never have to look for a job anymore. Nobody should look for a job. All graduates, nobody should look for a job. There will be some that will still need to be employed. But what I mean is that even if the thing is not there now, but I'm going to create it when I come, by the grace of God. I'm going to create avenues, and I'm going to make the knowledge so available and prevalent that nobody will be looking for a job. Everybody will be creating jobs for themselves. That's the kind of thing, the situation I want to create, so that you don't need to look. In fact, the ones who will be looking for a job, I will just be the ones that just need experience, or the ones that just need to start. Only those ones who will need to get employment. Others will not need to, because they themselves can make employment and money come to them without God looking for employment. So that's my wish. That's what I want to tell them. But I don't have wish that God should do it or something. No, I'm coming to do it. So God is already giving everything. Leave God. God has already done all the things that he needs to do. Leave him out of this. We are supposed to fix it. If the government cannot fix it, if nobody else is fixing it, don't worry. I'm coming. We are going to fix it. And that's for the youth. Any other person you want me to talk to?
Any other person? I want you to address also the people who, I think you mentioned it also, people that are in the civil service, those people who are right now working to the government. I think you mentioned it, but also to the people that have ideas, because there are many people that have ideas in Nigeria right now. People who wish to do stuff and they are incapacitated.
Yes. For those people who might have an idea or want to do anything, I want to tell you that we are coming on the platform of Nigerian Transformation Project, and that thing that we are bringing is a platform that is going to allow us to finance anybody. Anything you want to do, just have, number one, have your idea. Number two, develop that idea. Number three, write your business plan. But the most important thing is number four, you will need to go and renew your mind. And I'm not playing anybody, I'm not looking down on any man of God, but I don't believe that you are born again or you are going to any church is a reason for me to be able to help you. I only want to help people who have renewed their mind. And for that, you must listen to at least 200 of my messages. If you can prove to me that you have listened to 200 of my messages very well and you can answer all the questions, then you are qualified to be sponsored. Any project we are going to be sponsoring these things. But you have to prove to us that your project is better than the others, of course. And then you have to prove to me that you don't have to come to my church, you don't have to recognize me, but you must use those materials to renew your mind. When you have done that, then you will be qualified for help. So but I also don't start to give anybody help until I leave Ukraine. It's only when I leave this country that service will begin. But right now, you can begin to work on yourself. You can go to my blog as well, SundayAdelajablog.com/Nigeria, and see the form There are two forms there. If you want to be part of the Nigerian Transformation Project, there's one form. Then the other form is if you want financial help, you can also fill that up as well. But if you cannot prove to me that you have listened to 200 messages, I will not even listen to you.
And that is because Pastor does not want you to come and he's asking you, how do you know you can do this thing? And you say, I know I can do all things. We are trying to avoid that situation. We want to be sure. I just believe.
I have faith.
We want to be sure of your ability. We want to be sure of your professional capacity and capability. And that's why Pastor is
value system.
Yeah, your value system.
Moral content.
Yes.
Yeah, content of character, skills level, and worldview, and paradigm, and we want you to reason well and straight.
So you
We
can't
want
get
you to be
enough.
renewed in your mind.
Yeah. You can never get enough of Pastor Sunday Adelaja. Dr. Sunday Adelaja, so many other people know him. You can't get enough of him. It's like just sitting and let the conversation just continue. On a note where we don't even get to talk, apart from ask questions, sit down. And thank God this message is recorded because even we are going back to listen to it.
That's right.
So, to get in touch with Pastor Sunday.
15 minutes. If you want.
Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We can put some
I give you 30 more minutes.
Okay.
Interesting. So I think we should let's
Let's
Ask
there are some
questions.
questions.
yeah. So dear viewers, if you have any question that you want Dr. Sunday right now, you know the kind of questions Dr. Sunday answers, right? So ask.
Are you sure they know?
Okay. So your questions must have a solid purpose, and it must answer a question. I mean, it must answer something that would
Pressing it.
yeah, a pressing need. Like you ask Pastor Sunday, how are you feeling? He tells you he has chosen not to.
Yeah.
He has chosen not to consult his feelings.
I have Prince Nwachuku.
Yeah.
Prince Nwachuku is asking, what is the difference between being successful and fulfilling purpose?
Big difference.
All right.
Yeah, big difference because anybody can be successful. God has already put things in nature so much that anybody can be successful. In fact, that is a sad story if anybody is not successful. Anybody should be successful. Anybody can be successful. You just use the principles.
Yes,
Just do anything you want. You can be successful. But that doesn't mean you are fulfilling purpose. Fulfilling purpose is to be successful in the right place where God created you to be or to deal with. So God has created everybody for a mission. A mission, to carry out a particular purpose on earth. And that purpose is always having to do with bringing down the will of God on earth as it is in heaven. To fulfill one or the other of God's mandate. So it is when you are successful in fulfilling God's mandate, that is when you are fulfilling purpose. Not when you are just successful in material things.
So it is the fulfilling of what God has called you to do that is fulfilling purpose, not just when you have.
And that's the real success.
Yes,
That's
that's
when
the
you
real
are truly
success.
successful.
Yes. I am of the opinion also that to be diseased doesn't mean to have organic lesion. Is it possible that one is fulfilling a wrong purpose because he discovered the wrong one? Maybe he believed wrongly and he's fulfilling what he believed in. Is there a way God will help him and know that ignorance, he did not really know, he's only fulfilling what he has understood?
Yeah, I think God is going to credit anybody that is successful in anything, in the sense that God is going to acknowledge your effort. You've done something, you've put in effort for you to be successful in anything, but you will not get the credit because you are not doing what He wants you to do.
So it means the most important thing is to realize what it is exactly that you are called to do. And some of us, we are studying medicine, and we have a lot of people in the medical school where I come from. By the time we have good conversations with them, and sometimes I suspect myself too, we have good conversation with them, and you find out that what is it what are you doing?
What brought you?
What brought you here? and we find out that it is the mom who
I
went
even heard that one of them is a drummer now, and he's successful as a drummer. What does that say?
to make drums.
Yeah.
To make drums. So organizing, he had
Yeah.
huge.
So someone like that, someone like Minister Nyanya,
Yeah.
is doing so well in music.
And he gave up anything.
Yeah,
He's
he's even a surgeon.
He's a surgeon now.
Wow.
So when we find out that when the woman is pregnant and they ask her, "What are you having?" Then he says, "I'm having a doctor." So they chose this thing for him since he was in the belly. And when he grew up, I want to become a musician. I said, "No,
You are conceived as a doctor.
music what?
No, Doctor.
Dr. Lumaka." Something like that. So
Yeah.
how can they probably find fulfillment in still getting the certificate? Because now they are already here. Someone who discovered that in 40 years.
Any photo, any source, any sort of knowledge is a beneficial knowledge. Any knowledge, unless it is evil, is always going to, there is profit in all labor. Yeah, any form of labor that will give you knowledge. For example, I am a minister now, but I didn't study in the theological school or seminary. I did journalism, and I didn't even practice. I only practiced journalism 1 or 2 years. That's all. I didn't even practice it. So it's but the knowledge you get in any area will still benefit you. And if you are going to keep on developing, because the problem with people is that they go to school to study, let's say, medicine, and after they get out of school, that is the end of their education. That is where the problem is. In my own case, when I got out of school, it was the beginning of my education. So if you will not stop learning and stop developing yourself in self-education, you will discover that no matter what you study, that will still help you to build on it as you are going to do self-education in other areas. For example, today now, I would say what I study in the university is only 5% of what I'm using now. And that 5% is not the knowledge. 5% is the discipline, the skills, the interaction, the experience of being in university. But not the knowledge is helping me now. Only 5%. Only 5% of what I have now is thanks to the university. Is what I got in the university. All of that are what I got after.
So basically, to recap what you said, they should not consider their time in the university as a waste just because they discovered something else.
Well, no, university is not for knowledge, basically. University is mostly for the discipline and for the stamina. So a university education, tertiary education, they are supposed to help you build discipline and while you are independent of your parents, when you are out of your house, to still be able to focus on completing a task. So that after university, you have that discipline throughout your life.
Wow.
That's number one. Number two, you have to pass in university. And that the most important thing that gives you is the discipline to be able to control yourself. When you want to go to class, you don't want to go to class, you have to do it. So the ability, so that after school in real life, you will still be able to put yourself under. You have the discipline to always put yourself and desire under and be able to discipline yourself to attain any goal you want. So that particular goal you are attaining by getting your diploma is just like an example, like a model. It's just like, something that you are using. It's just like a puzzle. You are setting a puzzle, but the purpose of the puzzle is not that you build that house. The puzzle, it's just for you to be able to learn the skills, to be able to think. So by the time you learn to think, it will now be that's what you need in university, not that particular thing you are doing. So university education is not for the particular subject or whatever they are teaching you. That's the knowledge part. But there are a lot of other aspects of skills that is university is meant for.
So we've converted what should be a means to an end in
Yeah.
itself.
It's a problem.
Wow. Pastor mentioned when he was answering the question about success and
I'm sorry,
skill.
before you continue, let me give you an example, for example, of my university.
Yes, sir.
I wake up 7 o'clock and my classes will start normally at 7:30 in the morning. So we'll go to classes 7:30 in the morning, and then we'll end by 2:30 exactly, 2:30 in the afternoon. But after 2:30, from 2:30 to 3, I will go and do my lunch and just go to Yeah, go and eat in the yeah. So after by 3 o'clock, within that 30 minutes, I will be in the library, and for 6 years, I will go live in my home 7:30 in the morning, but from 3 to 9, and that's another 6 hours. I will be in the library, and I will vow I will not come out. I can only go to the restroom and toilet. Even if I feel like sleep, I will sleep there in the library. But so that discipline to be out on my feet from 7 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, from Monday to Friday for 6 years. So how did that now help me as a pastor? How could that help me as a pastor? It is that discipline that when I now started my church, I felt led. I just remember the 6 hours I was spending in university for 6 years. I just said, but what was that? If I could do it in the library, why can't I do it before God? So I just determined that I would be praying 6 hours every day. And that is why by the end of 1 year of praying 6 hours one day, I will have 1,000 members, 1,000 people in my church in a year. That discipline, or that the school years and library taught me to stand in one place and be persistent and build it. Those university years built in me the stamina. That's another advantage. The ability to build in yourself the stamina. And the ability to be able to maintain focus, because that's what Isaac Newton says. That genius is the ability to maintain your focus on one particular goal, on one particular direction. So that's what university does for you. For 6 years, you maintain your focus in one particular direction. So that in life, when you can get that skill, you can be a genius everywhere else.
Wow. Man, this is something about Dr. Sunday Adelaja is you always get more than you expect.
More than you bargained for.
You always come on, guys. If you doubt me, actually it comes live right now every evening by 6. It comes live every evening by 6 or by 7 and by 9. Right? Yeah, so it comes out by 7 for the DSA at 50 marathon, and it also comes out
1.5 hours time we're coming.
Yeah, 1.5 hours time we're coming out, and also by 9 for questions. So if you doubt us, why not tune in? You could get times 2 today. So today you could get times 3. Yeah, you get this session 7 o'clock. You get another session and 9, and then after writing me a message, you lied to me. Yeah, I know I don't believe you. This man is not real because.
Or go to YouTube.
Or go to YouTube. Yeah, you could go to YouTube. His YouTube channel is Sunday Adelaja Official, and you could see a plethora of messages. You see it. If you want to be drunk with wisdom and understanding, you will get it there. And also his Facebook page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. You could go there right now, and or maybe after this live broadcast, and like the page, because if you like the page, then you'll be opportune to get to see what is when he comes live and many of his articles that he has on sundayadelajablog.com. And also, I want to prescribe a book. No, I'm a doctor, so we prescribe. So I want to prescribe a book to you to help you discover your purpose. And that was why he was explaining success and fulfillment in life. And that book is Who Am I? Why Am I Here? That is someone's best book. She's seated right here. She loves that book.
And someone else who I know has developed the curriculum
From the book. Yes. So, who am I?
What would you do with the curriculum?
To teach the principle. Those, I mean, he's going to talk about those books, but my own opinion is they should be a part of the curriculums in the formative years of every child.
Yeah.
From primary school to secondary, they should be reading such. So what he's going to
I subscribe to that. We're saying to him that many of his books should be in schools right now, starting from primary school, secondary school, even to higher institutions. These are books that would help your mind, that will produce the genius in you and make you become relevant to the environment and to the society at large. However, guys, we are blown away, and we have to.
Just before we go, there's something I must tell you so you can leverage on that.
That's right.
You see, I've known so many people who at least have this fame, the fame, not necessarily the intellect. And we know how they treat people. I mean, if such people were here, and we wanted to come like this, and the way we are talking, would have written maybe 5 years ago.
5 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
You must have discovered yourself 5 years ago.
5 years for access.
And then write them that you want to see them in 2 years, and maybe somehow they will be able to shift the itinerary for you in 5 years.
That's right.
But we have a man here who is down to earth, and he's always open, his doors are open.
He
So
is
maybe
awesome.
you like his page, trust me, you can message him your direct questions.
Yeah.
And Pastor Sunday is one person who regards every individual. How do you know that? He will reply your message personally.
Yeah, not scam.
But make sure you are liking the real page, or it's the one that is.
Yes.
It has more than 20,000 likes currently, if I'm not wrong. Or-
No, right now, Pastor is close to 100,000.
So anything that is that is 20,000 is flicking shaking, that's not Pastor Sunday.
Yeah.
So like the real page and make sure you leverage on the opportunity of his openness, and you'll see just how much testimony will come out of it. And we are very sure that you even call us to tell us about how your life has changed in very few days. So maybe we should just let Pastor Sunday give his last
word
and we'll call it a day. It's really been a day.
yeah.
My last word is that I'm an old man. In 2 weeks' time, I'll be 50. In my own language, they say if you see an old man running, along the highway, running, picking race, it will mean there must be a purpose to it. Either he's chasing after something.
Or something they just have.
Something is chasing after him, right? Or something is, so he must have a purpose.
That's right.
There must be it. So if I'm giving 1.5 hours of my year, of my life to you,
So,
personally, and to your viewers,
that's right.
it means I probably believe in you and believe that you could make it count. Now, I've only succeeded in answering a few questions, but I don't want to just impress you or people. What you all could do for me is to go sit down with those messages, with those answers, and dissect them, and get the spirit of the word I have spoken. As Jesus said, these words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. But that spirit and life don't come over to you until you have spent enough time dissecting and digesting them. Then they go to your system. If the word about never being afraid of Satan or never being concerned for anybody truncating your destiny, if that word will become flesh in you, we have just succeeded in raising up another Pastor Sunday. You will disregard, you will just walk in high places of the earth till the end of your days. But if you just listen today and say, I don't have to have had it, it's okay, it was a nice word, great word, But if that doesn't make the word become flesh, it was a great message. Maybe one time I listen again one time. I didn't mention that, but it was good. I got it. Understanding alone, the knowledge you get, is not what makes the word to become flesh. It's not what makes the spirit and life of the word to become yours. It takes a kind of diligent study, meditation. Do everything you need to do to make sure that you listen, even if you need to listen for 100 times. But if those truths we spoke about will become life, and the spirit of the word will quicken you, you will never become a victim. That's just concerning that one question. Same thing concerning finances, and same thing concerning the other question of answer. You will become a prince on the earth. Not just by listening to 100 messages, at least by making one. Because the word of God said they are full of life and grace. Grace and truth. So but until it's digested, just like when you are medical student, when you take capsule, if that capsule doesn't open and it doesn't digest, it doesn't break down, the content of that capsule, the content will not be released to nourish your body and to heal you. It's just like doing, swallowing tablet, and it didn't break down, it didn't digest, and went to toilet, they come out the way it went, you will not be healed. Same with the word of God. The fact that you have interacted with it, you have swallowed it, you have even touched it, you have had it, you have been excited, doesn't benefit you. But because it's full, the word of God is full of grace and truth. That's the content of it. The content of the particular word, the relevance of that word, or the medicinal use of it, is about what we are talking about. So we talk about the incapability of Satan to harm you. So then, if there is another topic we talk about, it is in that word that grace and truth will be released. So once you have digested it enough, grace will be released on that particular subject, and truth. And you know what truth does? It sets you free. And you know what grace does? It gives you the unqualified power and grace to be able to do what you never even thought would be possible before. But the problem with people that they listen, but they don't go to digest. I pray that you correct that, and this will not benefit you.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. It was a very big privilege for us. I mean, to have sat here and asked the questions we asked, and that you were able to listen. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for inviting your friends. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much because you will go back and digest it.
That's right.
That is a split. And eschatology is usually the most important part of existence. So for everything he has said, the last part which said, go back and digest it, and I think is the most important.
That's right.
So I'll leave you to the ambulance of my brother.
Well, it's Saveto and Pastor Anu, Facebook Live. But today we had our mentor, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Next week we are going to have another episode, and we are continuing in the review of Pastor Sunday's book, Money Won't Make You Rich. So join us, not the same time right now, but join us 8:30 p.m. next week Thursday for another exciting time with Saveto and Pastor Anu. Till we come your way next time, remember that information that you received today would lead to no transformation if it is not digested. Conversion, make sure you convert it. God bless you and see you. Bye.